Hi everyone, I'm Robert DeLaurentis and pilot waking up here in Cairo, and there's a story about my approach into Istanbul that I wanted to share. It's been sticking with me for a few days, so I felt it was important. When I was about 100 nautical miles out from Korlu, which is a airport about 100 kilometers from Istanbul, I was approaching and there was a storm front that I could see, and it didn't look bad at all. But I had this nagging feeling in my stomach that I needed to do something about it. So I lit off the radar and didn't get much of a return. But as I got closer, I could see below it, it looked a little bit darker. Still not that bad, but considering I had time and fuel and there was no reason to take any risks, I asked for a vector 25 degrees to the right, which I was granted. But the air traffic controller wasn't very happy with that after a period of time, because I was going about 40 to 50 nautical miles off my course. So he requested 3 times that I return to my original course, and each time I told him I could not comply due to weather, and he became more and more insistent. And I became more and more insistent that I wasn't going back into that storm, or going into that storm.
Level 120.
Panic flight level 120, 40 over.
So eventually I made it around, but the problem was at that time I'd been handed off to Istanbul radar, which was probably the busiest frequency I've ever been on. This guy was rattling off tail numbers, shifting people to other frequencies, and I made 3 attempts to communicate with him and I got no response. I was totally being ignored. And by that time, I was getting close to the airport. I was at 18,000 feet and I was absolutely insistent that he talk to me. And I said that I was reaching a critical point in my flight, that I needed a response. I had made now 4 attempts and I was going to stay on his frequency until he either handed me off or gave me the descent that I requested. And he did come back at that point and grant me the descent. But the funny thing was, when I got on the ground, that storm front that I mentioned earlier came rolling through and it dumped just ungodly amounts of water. In fact, I could barely see about 10 feet in front of me, and it went on for about 25 minutes. And I think I was sort of, one, relieved that I had diverted around the storm, but I was really happy that I had relied on my intuition, because ingesting that much water into the engine could have, could have shut the engine off for a time or could have had some problems. So I'd heard that was possible. I'd never experienced that before in terms of the engine ingesting water. But anyway, best to go with your intuition and be forceful if you need to. All right, thanks. Have a great day.